Hello everyone, TAC1421 here. Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG online gameplay commentary. Today I have a game with a subscriber, Petabay. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Just kidding there. But anyways, that was bad. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, all jokes aside. But this was a pretty good battle. I right out the bat, I have to mulligan 3 times, which is no bueno, but... And I don't start with a great hand either. No supporters. Gotta start Feebas, unfortunately. I don't know what deck he's playing yet. I didn't see a mulligan from him, so I don't know if Druddigon's going to be useful or not in this matchup. So I don't necessarily want to start it because I only have one. Now I do have Super Rod, but I don't have to. I don't want to rely on that, later to, get that back and do all that. The point of Druddigon in this deck is just to. Druddigon's a great card for Dragon types. Obviously, if you put a Muscle Band on there, it's one-hitting any Dragon type Pokemon after you get knocked out. So it's phenomenal, and the logic behind that is it's doing 110 times 2 if it's weak to Dragon. Also, it can also one-shot a lot of other things that are just regular old, like EXs like Jirachi and Shaman and stuff like that. EX, and then also regular old Pokemon as well that have 110 XP, or not XP, HP or less. So right here, I don't have a supporter in hand, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the Jirachi. Now, I should have looked at my entire deck here. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's a little bit of a tip. And I know in real life I do that all the time, where the first time through the deck, I look at all my cards, try to at least get a feel for what's in my prizes. If I can't get exactly what 6 cards, at least I know what I have to work with. And if a huge card in my deck is in my prizes, I'll know right away. But I didn't do that. It's a bad habit not to do that, but it's a good habit to do that. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But anyways, I don't want to put the DCE down on Druddigon. That would be probably, I don't know. I don't want to put it down right away. C-Dot and Shifty needs 2 attachments unless you use Milotic. It needs 2 turns to attach in order to use its attack. The DC and the Grass Energy. It needs 3 total energy, 2 double colorless, and the Grass Energy to use its Deranged Dance attack. So I thought the best play there. I'm going to Juniper next turn anyways. I'm not too thrilled about discarding my Dusknoir next turn because I only run a 1/1 line, but I can get it back with the Super Rod. And I don't think I'm going to really need it for this matchup anyways. He is benching a lot of Pokemon. So my Deranged Dance does 20 times the amount of bench Pokemon in play, both me and my opponent. So it's going to be doing a lot of damage. He has 5 Pokemon on the bench now. And even if I start getting knockouts, it's still going to add up. And I have the Muscle Band as well in the deck, and I have the Silver Bangle, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, I do top deck the Super Rod, which was literally the worst card in my deck to top deck, because now there's no way for me to get my Dusknoir back into play. But again, as I explained, I'm not too worried about getting the Dusknoir in play anyways. So luckily, I get another C-Dot. I have the Grass Energy, and I'm thinking, what do I want to do? I think I want to save the Feebas. I don't get the Milotic into play. So I think the best play at this point is probably to attach the Grass Energy to Feebas and just retreat. I don't want him to get an easy knockout. Now, I know I'm going to eventually use Milotic's ability to knock it out, and he's going to get the prize from it. But I want it to be difficult for him to take prizes, and that's a good strategy in Pokemon, is to make sure not to give easy knockouts, if you know what I mean. So, and if you are going to allow a knockout, you have a backup plan for it. Have a way of getting back at him. So that's what I think I'm doing a pretty good job of right now. And I don't want to attach the Silver Bangle to my active C-Dot for 2 reasons. 1, I can get knocked out this turn, and 2, if you look at Skarmory's first attack, which is like Jawed or something. It begins with a J. I forget the exact name of it. But for 2 steel energies, it's actually 2 colorless energies. Joust, that's the name of it. Joust for 2 colorless energies, so he has a 2 steel on there. It does 30 damage, I want to say, and then it discards a tool from the active Pokemon. So there's no point in me putting the Silver Bangle on my active C-Dot because it could get knocked out, or you know, it just gets removed. So there's no point in doing that. And the reason I did put the C-Dot out there, besides any other Pokemon, is for a number of reasons. I felt like I already have a bunch of C-Dots in play, so I might not necessarily need that one. Plus, there's a lot of ways for me to, you know, get a Shiftry in play and just knock him out right off the bat. So I'm going to attach the DCE to my C-Dot on the bench there with the Silver Bangle. Hopefully set up, if I don't manage to get a Shiftry, then at least I can next turn, you know, be ready to do some damage. Now, I do get a lot of things that I needed there, and I did Colress for 10, so chances are I'm going to get a lot of the stuff I need, but I really got everything that I needed there in order to get the knockout this particular turn. And I could have handled this a numerous amount of ways, but you see the Grass Energy and the discard there. I'm going to evolve into my Milotic, and you have to be careful about evolving into my Milotic and not evolving. You have to worry about that, but you have to worry about when to sacrifice your Milotic in order to put energy onto your Pokemon, especially with this deck. Any deck that has Milotic, you have to be careful about using it, but with this deck, it not only gives your opponent a prize, but it also reduces your damage by 20 because you have less bench Pokemon. Now, if you have a way of putting another Pokemon into play, then that's great, but if you don't, like I don't in this situation, then you have to make sure you still have the knockout if you're going to knock out your Milotic. And in this case, I do. Right now, I'm doing a 230 damage with my Shiftry, assuming that I have the energy, which I will, with knocking out the Milotic with its Grace ability. I forget the full name of it. It's like Savior's Grace or something. Energy Grace. I can put the energy on there, and now I'm doing 210 for the knockout with the Deranged Dance. Great move, great name. I love it. I love this Pokemon. It's a really phenomenal Pokemon. I do draw two supporters from my prizes, which is always phenomenal to get supporters from your prizes. And that's another reason why you should look at your deck closely. I always try to count the number of supporters, the number of energy, as well as Pokemon that I have in my deck when I first go through it. And that's what I should have done. I should get into the habit of doing that more often in this online tutorial, or not tutorial, this online simulator thing. I do it in tournaments all the time. It's definitely a great thing to do. But yeah, so he actually puts up his Clink here. Now I think he realizes that he's not going to really use it in this matchup. Plus, I'm only getting one prize from it, and he can start setting up with other things. But what I would have done in his perspective, what I would have done in his shoes, if I was in his shoes, I probably would have gone into Cobalion. Its first attack does 30, and you discard a special energy from your opponent's Pokemon. So he didn't know that I had a DC in my hand, but the odds are that I might not. So I think I would have done that risk to get back into the game. But I do Lasand up his Cobalion, get rid of the energy, and he doesn't really have much to do at this point. I don't have another Lasand, so I can't get the Jirachi off his bench to knock it out, and I'm only doing a limited amount of damage now because there's only 7 Pokemon in play. So right now I'm doing 170. So I'm still getting the knockout. Did I do the math right there? 140. Yeah, so I'm doing 172 EX Pokemon. So I'm gonna be able to get the knockout. But after I knock out this Kling-Klang, the PlasmaKlang, I'm only doing 150. So I'm still okay. I feel good about it. Everything. I'm gonna Ultra Ball here to get another Pokemon in play, which is probably the best thing to do, and that way I can make sure that I do enough damage next turn. So he says GG. I think at this point he knows that I got the game pretty much wrapped up. I'm going to go ahead and Colress for a big 8, and then just thinning my deck out at this point. I'm going to attach an energy. So now I have another Shiftry on the bench ready to go. and there's not much he can do at this point. If he knocks out my one Shiftry, then I can just come in with the other one. Another very, very viable card for this deck as I go ahead and Pal Pad Colress and Lasan back in my deck. When you use the Pal Pad in any deck, make sure you Pal Pad the things back in your deck that you're going to need for certain situations. If it's late game, there's lots of bench Pokemon, you might want to get Colress like I did. If it's late game and you're down in prizes and your opponent has like maybe 1 or 2 prizes left, then go for the ends, because then you can end your opponent down to 1 or 2, as well as drawing cards. So it really helps to know the situation and know what you want to do there. So you see there, he's going to get rid of my DCE, but I just have another one in hand, so that is going to be the game. So good game to Petabe. Hope I'm saying that correctly. And I'm going to go ahead and get the. I think I'm going to do something clever or something. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I was seeing if there's some other funky way I can win the game, which I probably could have, but regardless, I'm going to get the knockout here. And that's Shiftry for you. Shiftry, pretty fun deck to play. And I do hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay as well as my explanation of everything. I hope I explained things correctly, and I hope you learned something from this game. If you didn't, then hope it was still entertaining nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and get the knockout here. I'm going to leaf draw a few times, actually, just for the heck of it, because leaf draw is fun. I like leaf drawing. And then I'm going to get the knockout with Deranged Dance for 170 perfect damage onto him. Actually, no! I'm not going to get the knockout yet. Oh boy, he still has a turn to live. So yeah, because I knocked out him the previous turn, one of his Pokemon, he still has... I wasn't doing enough damage. Because Cobalion, pesky Cobalion over there, has 180 HP. So he's going to knock out my Shiftry, which is good for him. I'm going to go into my other Shiftry now. And maybe I'll just go into Druddigon. Make it a fun little knockout here. Yeah, I'm going to go into Druddigon, because I think he has... I don't know. He has 90 damage on him, maybe 80. And then I'm going to get the knockout with pesky old Cobalion here. Now I'm going to try to leaf draw for a DCE. If I don't get it, then I'm just going to sacrifice my Milotic and go from there. So we'll see if I can get it or not. Leaf draw for 3 more. And leaf draw is pretty good. It runs really well with... so I think I'm going to sond up his Jirachi with perfect 90 HP there. And Energy Grace, give him another prize. And go ahead and put 3 energy on this Druddigon. It only needs 2 for its revenge attack, which does 20, and then plus 70 more if one of your Pokemon was knocked out next turn, and then the Muscle Band's doing an extra 20, so that's why I said 110 earlier on. So I'm gonna go ahead and sond up the Jirachi and get the knockout. One thing that I've learned from watching some other people in the YouTube community is you should try it. If you see Jirachi on the bench, it's an easy knockout, but you should try to knock it out last and get the last 2 prizes of the game, opposed to knocking it out early on, because for a few different reasons. One, it's a bench setter for him, and 2, it's an easy knockout later in the game if you run into problems. So that's going to be that. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see everyone next time. Peace.